finish out our round of Mountain West games, we got Colorado State going on the road to take on Washington Huskies, 11 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Looking at Washington's schedule, their first two games will be their easiest. They're going to look to get the season started on the right foot. Head coach Jeff Fish needs to get wins in week one. He takes on Colorado State team that impressed last year. They were 8-5 on the season, 6-2 in the conference. They bring back their quarterback in Braden Fowler-Nicolosi. Washington opens up at 22.5 point favorites for this game. I think the Rams are going to be competitive, but I think Washington knows that this game is so important to win because they don't have any give-me games. This is their chance to start the season out right at home and prove that they can give some other Big Ten teams some trouble this season. They lose their quarterback Will Rogers, but they bring in Damon Williams Jr., who looked impressive in their 1-point loss to Louisville last season in the bowl game. He's one of those guys that appears can do everything. Run the ball, throw the ball. They're going to expect him to do a lot on this Huskies team. They return 3 guys on offense, 1 guy on defense. Jed Fish is going to look to improve off of their 6-7 season a year ago. They bring in a handful of 4 or 5-star guys. Knowing what Colorado State was last year, if they can find a way to be more effective throwing the ball, they didn't have to rely on it that much. They had a great running game, but Fowler-Nicolosi is going to need to put up big numbers this season if they want to even match what they were able to do a year ago. He also loses one of his top targets from last season. The Rams are in a similar position as they were last year. Opened up the season against Texas a year ago. And Texas blew them out 52-0. It was looking like it was going to be one of them ugly seasons for the Colorado State, but they found a way to pull out, 8 wins. Do particularly well in the conference, 1 game away from being in a title game. Is this that same Rams team? I'm not sure. We're going to find out on Saturday. They could stay competitive with the Huskies, but I think they're going to have an explosive offense that sees them try to put up big numbers to make a statement. For the Huskies, they're going to look to limit the sacks that they had a year ago and give Williams Jr. time to make decisions on the run. I could see this game being a blowout. I could see this game being relatively close, but at the moment, I think the Huskies going to, bring in so much firepower that it's a late game, but they're going to try and get the Rams out of this game early, and I could see it being a 3-touchdown game. I see why it's at 22.5 points. The Rams, passing game, how effective will that be? We're going to wait and see. This isn't a particularly stout defense at the moment. They bring in new coordinator, Ryan Walters. We'll see what he has. He's going to look to some key cornerback transfers. It's so difficult to beat the Huskies at home. They have a 20-game win streak at home. I don't see the Rams being able to do that, but if they can, show a good air raid attack, keep it within 2 touchdowns, 2-possession game for most of this game, who knows? But I wouldn't expect upset to start week 1. Expect the Huskies to have their way. I'm not sure about that spread at the moment, but I think the Huskies will win decisively, start their season. Be sure to check this out. It's 11:30 Eastern game on the Big Ten Network.